The gap widens. 15 points wide. I'm starting to think that we might just be able to pull this off. What I'm talking about, of course, is Liverpool beating Southampton 3-1, while Arsenal drew at Old Trafford to widen the gap to 15 points. But we didn't have it all our own way, so let's break down Liverpool versus Southampton. It was one of those things, you could see it coming a mile away. And I feel like I say this every time, where it's like, what are we going to win by this time, lads? And all the pundits' predictions, like, I reckon 5-1 to Liverpool. Oh, it could be 6. It could be 6. Southampton, the worst Premier League side of all time, versus Liverpool, first versus last, Saturday at 3 p.m. It was all just so obvious. You could see it just coming down the tracks, while everyone's like, ha 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 ha. Meanwhile, I'm like, ding 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 ding. There's a train just barreling towards me, called reality. But I mean, in the end, they were right. We did score multiple goals. But so Saturday, 3 p.m. can be a tricky time slot for me to get the football watched in my house. So I'm planning ahead. So in my house, we alternate lie-ons. Or sorry, I got a lot of comments on this the last time. Lie-ins, excuse me. And because I have other stuff on that doesn't involve my family, I was just being delicate about the situation. So I said, you know what? I'll get up early on Saturday. Now, it turns out the kids slept till like 10 a.m. So couldn't have worked out better. Like, I did that. I took the dog out, did some shopping, just did me bits so I could lock in at 3 o'clock. And so as it turned out, I'm watching this match with my family in the room. So I leave the room for just literally 20 seconds just to get something out of the oven. I come back in and I see the score is now 1-0 Southampton. And I'm asking my family, like, what happened? Kerry said, oh, was it not that score when you left? I was like, no. Her name is Kerry. I'm just going to say Kerry. And so I couldn't wait for the halftime review. I'm there looking online. I'm like, right, what happened? What happened? I've a couple of issues with this goal. One, it looked like Alisson got fouled. And then I seen the replay. I'm like, okay, no. And then I'm like, okay, but was that, if the other player got the touch, was that offside? Like, Van Dijk and Alisson get their annual calamity out of the way in a league match that we go on to end up winning. Great. But I was still confident. I was like, okay, after 60, 70 minutes, they'll fade. So then, Big Arne with 3 half-time substitutions. Ruthless. He's bringing on McAllister. He's bringing on Elliott. He's bringing on Robertson. I was like, fucking yes, man. Slot is so proactive with these subs. He just never gets them wrong. And I'm watching it, and Kerry goes, Slot always gets his changes spot on, right? And I was like, yeah. So even though I'm still confident, I am very much ignoring my family at this point. I'm just very much like, all right, this actually requires my full attention. So let's talk about the goal that got us back in the game. Darwin, you son of a bitch. You've got Diaz on the left, who, again, like, he didn't have his best game, a lot of kind of wayward stuff, but he also got an assist. He kind of was responsible for the third Peno arm thing, which we'll talk about. So, like, he just doesn't stop. What I love about this goal is that he cuts inside, plays it. Finally, they play that pass to the centre forward. Because I've been talking about how, like, the centre forward position for Liverpool is, like, kind of a bit in no man's land a lot of the time. But this time, what I love about it is the fact that Diaz plays it in for that exact centre forward position. It's a centre forwards goal. That's what I like most about it. Wasn't some crazy low probability shot that he has no business taking. This was a bread and butter centre forwards goal. Get in the space and get the goal. And it's the way, like, the Southampton player's foot. This is a foot. And the way Darwin's, like, he's just able to get his foot in the way and send it in. Fucking yes, man. And this is like a delayed cheer where I was just like, I was sitting on the bench, where I'm sitting on the couch, and then the goal went in. I was like, yes! And then that still wasn't enough, so I had to get up off my chair, move around my toddler who's in the bath in the middle of the sitting room. I was keeping her nice and quiet. I'm like, oh, excuse me. And then to the fans who were saying whatever they were saying to him, you lot shut up as well. Fucking yes, man. If you missed it, do not worry, because I think this crude drawing really gets across exactly what happened and Darwin's general vibe throughout the match. Let's break it down on the patented fucking yes scale. So you got Lucho, I mean, it's classic winger stuff here. Absolutely mugs off his marker, gets by him, plays the ball, the perfect ball, just right back into the 6-yard box. Darwin gets there. What I like about the aesthetics of the goal is that as he runs up to get his foot in the way, the ball fires in and he's off. There's no standing still time at all. It's just run and get the ball, boom, and I'm away. There's something I love extra about goals where players, they don't stop moving. They don't stop to wait and see, is it going in? It's like, I'm already on my bike. And then, of course, the fact that it's Darwin Nunez adds a +1 on that as well. So, fucking yes scale, that's a 9. Just a classic. Darwin has scored at Anfield. He normally scores away. Scores at Anfield to get us back in the game. A goal that we need, not like a comfort third goal in a 3-0 or 3-1 route. Our centre forward, our number 9, cop end, 6-yard box, just puts it in the goal. Yes, man. And then, like 30, 60 seconds later, he wins us a penalty. Fucking. He is, I mean, when he's fired up, it's actually quite dangerous. Because it's like, we could all see it. It's like, do you know what? If he could just keep his composure, he's definitely going to get a red. But if he could just keep his composure, you could have a hat-trick here. He wins the penalty. At the start, I'm seeing Trent with the ball under his arm. Mo was like, good one. Give me the ball. I don't think Trent was ever going to take it, but maybe he's doing that protecting thing where they stop other players from trying to get in his head. I mean, as if. And Salah does what Salah does. Power and placement. Opting for the turbo package. And if you missed it, this crude drawing really gets the point across. Now, please try and ignore the penalty spot. Again, they are crude drawings, but here's Arsenal fan TV. Look at that penalty spot, fam. Typical Liverpool, innit? Oh, these guys are everywhere. Fucking yes scale, that's an 8. But that very much turned the game around in the space of 2 minutes. And then it very much looked like, okay, I know there's another goal in Darwin here, but he's definitely getting a red card if he stays on the pitch for much longer. Just clatters into the back of Ramsdale. I was like, oh. It's like he has to be like, hey, Darwin. I mean, we talk about Salah's post-goal clarity. Darwin's post-goal clarity. Let's just say Salah gets to see that clarity a bit more. Whereas Nunez, you could argue, is getting a little backed up. But that's the Nunez I want to see. That's the box office Nunez. He played really well, and I was glad. I mean, it made sense. He had to take him off. If I may pause for a minute to thank everyone who's bought some merch. If you want this or other t-shirts, the link is in the description below. Thanks to everyone who bought the Endo tees. If you haven't subscribed, if you could hit the button along there, that'd be great. Anyway, back to the video. And then you're still thinking, okay, well, look, I expect us to go ahead and win. But a third goal would really set me at ease. And luckily Salah was on hand to do the business again. VAR review. This Southampton defender was like, good job I haven't conceded a penalty yet, eh? To the ball. And then the ball is like, what are you doing? And then Ramsdale is very much, I know where you're going to go. You fooled me once. Shame on you. Salah just goes for pure power this time. Mugs him off big time. As you can see in an example here, Ramsdale is very much holding the mugs to signify that he's been mugged off twice. And on the fucking yes scale, that's an 8 as well. So at that stage we're 16 points clear. Arsenal played the day after, i.e. yesterday. And I mean, on paper, if there was one fixture on paper where I was like, okay, well, playing Man United at Old Trafford is literally the easiest fixture in the football calendar. So Arsenal will win this. 1-1, making the gap 15 points. Arteta took it well.
Do you regret not signing a striker in January? Perhaps that extra player? No, it's not about that?
No, it's not about that.
Okay, Miguel, one more. Yeah. I have to ask you about the title race, because it's 15 points now. Is it too much? Right.
But back to us. A few players that I wanted to single out for particular praise. Luis Diaz. You know, like he's clearly off form, but he works so damn hard that he's still getting in amongst the goals. Like, he got himself an assist. he rustled their feathers enough for them to go, hey? And he can only play himself back into form, but he just doesn't stop. Harvey Elliott, real kind of, not even final product, because he's still getting better every year, but like, he's not a potential player anymore. He will do a job. He will do what you need him to do when he comes in. Great control, great passing, just tireless running. He's got a great shot on him. I would love to see more of Harvey Elliott between now and the end of the season. McAllister, when he came on, was really good. And you know what? Like, between now and the end of the season, a lot of people would like write off Nunez as, you know, look, he's had a fairly shite season so far. A few big moments like that one, like Brentford, a few other little moments. But while I was kind of a bit bummed, I'm like, oh, looks like he's going to go in the summer. Like, I don't really like him going out with a whimper. But he could also, you know, okay, the season might be done. But we have a whole Champions League campaign to go in the knockout stages. And I think Nunez in Europe is a bit of a different beast anyway. And I would love to see the second half of this season for him to come alive and to spark that European push to the Champions League title. So I would love for this redemption arc to start and him to start absolutely killing them in Europe. Then he brings on Endo with like 10, 12 minutes to go. Good night, everybody. I'm still processing the fact that we're pretty much going to win the title. Because like I was saying in the previous videos, it's great that we won in 2020 and got that off our back. But, you know, you'd have to admit it was such a shame that it was a bit of an anticlimax, I thought. Because we won the league by so many points, a global pandemic hits, and you know they can't celebrate in front of the fans. The next season starts, and it just keeps going. So it's like, we won, like great, but we, you know, obviously there was more important stuff going on at the time. I feel like if Liverpool can get over the line, this parade or this celebration about this title, and I'm going to try and get to the parade, but I for one will be celebrating the 2 titles. This Liverpool team keeps going on. Mo Salah moves to 3rd in the all-time Liverpool goal-scoring charts. He will punish you every time. I just love having a player that you just know, we get a penalty, great. All my early season slight jitters about Salah taking penos is gone. I trust him 100% on penos. He's one of these players, and you can't overlook it. Just someone who will punish you if you give him a chance. I don't know what's going to happen next year with him, with Verge, with Trent, but Jesus Christ. And what a big week we've got in store now. That was actually our only league game that we're going to play in March, would you believe? And our next match is tomorrow against PSG, back at Anfield. And then it's not. Hope that's not an omen. And then, of course, we have the League Cup final against Newcastle on Sunday. So, big week. Join me then the day after each game for the review. And thanks for the support. And up the fucking Reds.